Hi, this is Nelia Nutrition in front of my chalkboard again today. And before I dive deeper into the sugars, I need to dive a little bit deeper into the two major classes of carbohydrates. And they are the simple carbohydrates and the complex carbohydrates. I'm going to talk more about the complex carbohydrates tomorrow, but let's talk about the simple carbohydrates. So the simple carbohydrates are these over here. These are the simple carbohydrates. The monosaccharides, so a single sugar, all three of these monosaccharides, glucose, fructose, and galactose, all have the same chemical structure, C6H12O6. And what that means, they have 6 carbon, 12 hydrogen, and 6 oxygen. So these are monosaccharides. Disaccharides are pairs of monosaccharides. So basically what we do is we have glucose that's added to each one of these. So glucose and glucose is maltose, glucose and fructose is sucrose, and glucose and galactose is lactose, which is our milk sugar. Sucrose is table sugar, and table sugar is nearly 100% sucrose. And down here, that's the complex. I'll talk about that tomorrow. So these are our simple carbohydrates, so our simple sugars. So when we're eating different types of sugar, it can be disguised in many, many different ways. As a case in point, when I was doing a video a couple of years ago on a cereal that was free of 101 different preservatives and additives, looking at the ingredient list was quite daunting. It actually had 10 different sources of added sugar. And well, most of it was added sugar. Some of it was in the fruit, but this was the label. And let's hold it up here. So the label, it had milled cane sugar, dried cranberries and sugar, brown rice syrup, honey molasses, freeze-dried cranberries or blueberries, barley malt syrup, freeze-dried strawberries, and freeze-dried raspberries. So these were all of the different types of sugar that were in this particular cereal. Now there's also many other different brown sugar, corn sweetener, high fructose corn syrup, I'm sure you've heard of that one. Date sugar, dextrose, evaporated cane juice, fruit juice concentrate is a very common one. Granulated cane juice, honey, maltodextrin, maple syrup, molasses, raw sugar, turbinado sugar, agave nectar, lots of different names for different types of sugar that you may see on an ingredient list. Now, on a label, if you read labels, you'll know that we have, it says sugar, and right now the way the label reads is it does not differentiate between what is added sugar and naturally occurring. The naturally occurring sugar is going to be fructose, which we find in fruit, and as well as lactose, which we find in like milk and yogurt. The new label is coming out, and we're starting to see them already, but July of 2018, all food manufacturers will have transitioned over to the new label, and it will have added sugar. So, but just to give you an idea, there are 4 grams of sugar in a teaspoon. So if you look at a label, and to let you know, like this particular cereal that I was talking about, in a half of a cup, which was just this much, there were 16 grams of sugar. And most of it was added sugar because those berries added very, very little naturally occurring sugar to it. There were 16 grams. So 4 grams of sugar equals 1 teaspoon, or roughly about a packet of sugar. So in that half of a cup serving, there were about 4 teaspoons of added sugar, or mostly added sugar. And if you're having more than that, obviously it's going to be a lot more. Now, the new dietary guidelines do have a recommendation, and they came out in 2015, and the recommendation is for us to consume no more than 10% of our calories, total calories, from added sugar. So to give you an idea, if you're consuming, let's say, just 2,000 calories, that's just a general guideline, and your needs might be less or they might be more, but 10% of 2,000 would equate to approximately 12 teaspoons of added sugar, or about 50 grams. So that is the new recommendation. American Heart Association, they actually have more strict guidelines. For women, it's just 6 teaspoons. Anyway, so, and just like a 20-ounce soda, a lot of visuals today. A 20-ounce soda has 65 grams of sugar. All of it is added. And I'll have a nice little visual for you, and I did the math for you already. And that is 16 packets of sugar. So that pretty much blows you out of the water for your daily allotment of what is recommended. So there you have it, a little bit more information about sugar. I hope that was helpful. Tomorrow we're going to dive more into the complex carbohydrates, talking a little bit more about fiber as well. So thanks for watching Neely on Nutrition, and we'll see you in tomorrow's video. Thanks for watching.